Is there such a thing as forever? Every human being must have asked themselves that question at some point in their lives, yet the answer is never simple. The response is always different. For some, it may be a simple yes, that it exists. For others, it may be no, it may be love, or a road on a highway. Our curiosity has been centered on that subject since the beginning of the film, and we will soon get an answer. Mia is a well-known screenwriter. She is preparing for an interview. Meanwhile, Ethan and his friend are discussing their college days. Ethan intends to sell his estate for a total of 10 million pesos. His friend offers that he drop the price, but Ethan remains silent, flatly rejecting the suggestion. We have the impression that something major is going on in his life, which is why he is selling his land. We return to Mia's interview. She is currently one of the industry's most sought-after rom-com writers. The interviewer inquires about Mia's sources of inspiration for her films. She responds that they are based on her own experiences, the experiences of her insane friends, or the stories of her crazy friends' pals. She even interacts with random strangers in cafes or on trains, and she explains why. She claims there is love everywhere. The scenario shifts to one of Mia's films. Two students are seeking shelter from the pouring rain. It turns out they are in the same Spanish class. The boy attempts to speak to her, but she abruptly cuts him off. Despite the weather, she must attend her mother's birthday party. The boy hands her his umbrella as a present right away. She takes it and runs away before being lost in the downpour. They exchange names and grin at each other, signaling the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. Ethan and his friends are currently on their way to work. His pals are making fun of his ex, whom he must avoid at all costs. They refer to her as Mia. It turns out that Mia and Ethan had a short-lived relationship. We get to see how they became acquainted. Strangely, their first meeting was similar to the film Mia directed. Only minor details are altered, but the overarching story and motivations for their acts remain unchanged. Therefore, we understand that we are getting two viewpoints on their relationship, one from Mia's movies about her past experiences, and the other from Ethan, who is closer to reality than the movies. Mia is asked by the interviewer if she has ever been in love. She responds that she has, but she was terrified to fall in love in the past, since she hails from a poor family and has to financially support her single mother and two brothers. As a result, she couldn't and still can't follow her heart, even if he was the one. Mia's strong sense of duty to her family made her wary of falling entirely in love with someone, which could explain why she and Ethan didn't work out. We watch two young pals strolling around the streets in Mia's next film. The girl is apprehensive about the direction of their friendship. She fears that if they get together, their friendship will suffer, but he refuses. He believes they should marry because of this. They've been friends for a long time. They know everything about each other, including what they like and dislike, what pleases and displeases them, and so on. The fact that she understands him and embraces him despite his flaws is enough for him. He wants to be perfect for her, and is willing to sacrifice everything. This confession melts the girl's heart, and they become a couple. Ethan's pal continues to mock him about Mia. Ethan has a lengthy dating history. Mia names a couple of girls who dated Ethan, but he claims they were only playing him. He is accustomed to being but he feels differently about Mia. Mia continues to refuse because she told her mother she wouldn't be in a relationship until she graduated from college, implying that her feeling of obligation to her family is impeding her ability to discover the love of her life. Ethan does not give up. His feelings for her are genuine, and he advises that they remain friends until that time comes. A band of musicians appears in front of them and begins to perform music. Mia and Ethan succumb to the music's romantic mood and simply enjoy the remainder of the evening. Mia is asked if she has ever had a true love, to which she responds that she has. A pair is spending time together in the next scene. When his girlfriend looks on, the boy is playing a video game. She becomes bored and smacks him with a pillow. He retaliates, and they soon find themselves on the floor. They lean in for a kiss, but the girl's mother intervenes. We return to Ethan's point of view once more. When he was in Australia, he had a girlfriend for 3 months following Mia. His friend claims that he only had one major relationship, which lasted 8 years, with Mia. Ethan becomes frustrated and tells his friend to stop talking about his past life. He then admits that Mia was the woman he loved the most, and after that statement, he stops talking, and a hidden pain can be seen in his eyes, as if the naive dreamer and love-obsessed guy he used to be is no longer alive. We experience the identical scene that Mia wrote about for her film, but this time from Ethan's point of view. Only the mother does not interrupt them, which differs from Mia's perception. They were head over heels in love with each other. Nothing existed except them and their love for each other, but it was doomed from the start. Mia argues that a girl's first partner, with whom she shares her first love, kiss, and everything else, is also the person she wants to marry. The next movie segment is closely related to Mia's statement. A blindfolded girl is led by her sister to her prince. He professes his feelings for her, places a ring on her finger, and they kiss. Ethan describes Mia as more than simply a lover. She was his best friend, and he was willing to spend the rest of his life with her. We can now see what happened between Mia and Ethan. They pay a visit to Ethan's grandmother. Ethan's grandma is his only family in the Philippines, and he looks after her well. She inquires as to why he does not travel to Australia to meet his mother, to which he responds that he cannot leave the woman of his dreams alone. Ethan's grandmother thanks Mia for changing his life for the better. Ethan's playboy phase has come to an end because of her. While her grandma is speaking, she drops a package on the ground, and Mia squats to hand it to her. Meanwhile, Ethan is reaching out to friends. Ethan staged a surprise confession to propose to her. As Ethan asks for her hand, she accepts, and they kiss, but it isn't the same passionate kiss as before. Something is different for Mia. Mia is asked if she has ever been proposed to. She becomes uncomfortable for a single second, but she quickly calms herself and compliments the interviewer on how well prepared she is. She then requests that Mia tell her what occurred. The stage is set, and the band is getting ready to play music. Their singer becomes concerned, because he cannot locate his girlfriend. But then she appears, which inspires the guy, and he gives the best performance of his life that night. Once again, a nice finish to the event, but when Ethan remembers it, we get the opposite outcome. A large crowd has assembled in a large hall. They are dressed formally and are waiting for something. Ethan is looking for Mia, but he can't seem to locate her. His pals summon him and inform him that she may be getting ready. This evening is devoted to Ethan. They honor his accomplishments as a company entrepreneur and game developer. He is summoned to the podium to deliver the speech, but before he does, he inquires about Mia's presence. Apart from Ethan and a couple of his buddies, no one understands that question, so he must swallow his shame in silence. Mia is working on a movie set at the same time. She wants to go immediately, but they need her. She runs to Ethan after finishing the chores, to find him sitting alone, unhappy, and angry at her. He claims that this has happened previously. Mia tries to make amends with him, but he won't hear it. The scene shifts to Mia emphasizing how horrible the timing was for that romance. She believes that if you are not meant to be, you are not. In another Mia-directed film, we see a woman returning Nico's engagement gift. She claims she made a mistake, which enraged the man. He wonders what went wrong, saying yes to his proposal with a broken voice. Susie responds that no, saying yes was not an error, they are simply not meant to be, and she does not want to hurt him. Nico responds that she already has, unsure if she wants him in her life or not, and he leaves the establishment heartbroken and angry at her. Meanwhile, Ethan's friends refuse to realize that their relationship is over. One of them asks him why he did it, and he responds unemotionally that sometimes that's just the way it is. Eventually, we receive an explanation of how and why their relationship ended. Ethan asks Mia whether they can visit his family in Australia before Christmas. She flatly refuses, stating that she does not want to spend Christmas away from her family. This enrages Ethan, who accuses her that she isn't ready to meet his family, even though they have been dating for a long time and are even engaged. He has no idea what is upsetting Mia, or what is destroying their relationship. Mia retaliates by practically yelling at Ethan that he doesn't understand one thing. He is the only child, thus he receives all of his family's attention, and he doesn't have a care in the world. She tells him that if he wants to go, he should, but if not, he can stay. Ethan can't believe she said that to him. Mia asks Ethan, the guy who has dedicated his entire life to her, if he truly loves her, since if he does, she will understand her wants. Ethan is disturbed by her statements that he does not cherish her hopes and aspirations. He claims she is part of every hope and plan he has for his life, but she refuses to make him a part of hers. Mia returns the gift to Ethan and then departs, leaving Ethan alone with a broken heart and shattered dreams, since she turned out to be a woman who would harm him again, despite his belief that she wouldn't. The interviewer asks Mia if she believes in love forever. This question has a tremendous impact on her, and she tries to answer, but only manages a few words before a tear falls down her face. This single tear demonstrates how much she has changed in the last 4 years, and the possibility that she regrets her decision. When we pose the identical question in Ethan's group, we get a very different response. Ethan cynically claims that there is no such thing as forever, using his relationship with Mia as an example, even though he gave everything for her, and received nothing but heartbreak in return. It's as if Mia and Ethan's worldview shifted, and they became the opposites of who they were before. Ethan has decided to sell his firm's shares because his mother is in Taiwan, and he needs the money to care for her. New challenges and experiences are sometimes all that life requires, which is why he is selling all of his shares to his friend. Everyone is depressed as a result of Ethan's statement. Mia's success will be revealed at the end. It turns out that her past 2 films were huge flops. Her bosses are dissatisfied with her, claiming that she has lost her edge. She refuses, but they do not allow her to continue her sentence, which irritates her. They go on to say that because she is no longer in love, she can't create good stories like she used to. Every big movie, it turns out, was directly inspired by her relationship. She utilized her personal life to achieve success. She's been backed into a corner, so she promises them that if they allow her 3 weeks, she'll correct her faults. Mia is sitting down to dinner with her family. Everyone notices her poor attitude. Her mother inquires as to why she is in such a foul mood, and she responds that since she and Ethan's breakup, she has lost her muse, and is unable to produce any acceptable scripts. She receives a call about attending her class reunion, but she is unsure if she will be able to attend. The big day has arrived, the class reunion. Everyone is having a good time until Ethan appears, greets his classmates, and departs for the restroom. When Mia arrives for the reunion, she encounters a minor snag. After all these years, it's as if they were meant to meet there. Mia is perplexed since she doesn't understand why her classmates have gone silent and awkward after seeing her. They try to divert the subject by talking about unimportant matters, but they fail since they know what's going to happen. Mia gets up and goes to the restroom. After 4 years, they finally meet. Images of their 8-year romance flood their minds, and they can't even speak to each other when Mia breaks the ice. He explains that he is here on business and a visit. They exchange a few sentences until an awkward silence falls between them. They want to break the silence, but they can't since they hurt each other too much and prefer not to talk about it, so Mia utilizes the toilet to get out of this predicament. He stays for a few seconds, reminiscing about their history, smiling, then walking away. Ethan goes to his pals' houses. He leaves with the excuse that he is not feeling well. Everyone stops talking as he finishes saying that Mia will also join them. Ethan is thoughtful, so he stands up and attempts to leave, but one of Mia's friends stops him and asks how she can contact him. He offers her his phone number and says that if she has any extremely hot pals, they may call him at any time. He intends to enrage Mia with this, letting her know that when she dumped him, he reverted to his old ways. It's as though he's upset with Mia for what happened, and even though everything ended 4 years ago, he still wants her to be jealous. Mia maintains her cool and says nothing. Ethan walks away. Mia places an order for beverages. She is depressed and wishes to forget about this night at all costs, so she begins drinking. One of her friends inquires out of curiosity. She acknowledges it was her that ended the relationship, beginning to blabber about Ethan's wish to go to Australia. Ethan is standing right behind her as she is talking about him. He returned to retrieve his jacket that he forgot. Ethan is amazed by what he heard. He doesn't want to believe that Mia doesn't understand him at all. He admits that yes, he could have left to go to Australia, but that would have meant leaving Mia here, the girl who turned his life upside down. Living and knowing that he made that decision would equal his end, he chose her over everything, even living with his mom, because it's just how he loves. Maybe it's selfish, but it's the only way he knows how to express himself. He calls Mia a chill and steady person, contrasting the difference between them, and then says that she only loves when it's convenient for her, underlining that she is the truly egoistic one, then leaves angrily. Mia just listens to all of this, as if she knows it's true but doesn't want to admit it. She raises the cup and drinks till she is completely drunk. Mia wakes up the next day with a hangover. She runs into a friend in the cafe. She is worried, because no matter how many times she revises the script, nothing works out. She believes she will be fired shortly. Her friend comforts her and leaves her alone for a few moments. She rushes outside and summons Ethan, telling him that her aunt is interested in purchasing the home he is selling. Of course, Ethan agrees and comes. Mia's buddy and brother were stalling the time before he arrived. He walks into the cafe, unaware that Mia is also there, orders an iced tea for himself, and when Mia tries to leave, they collide. Mia's laptop gets splattered with tea. It eventually breaks. Ethan apologizes and offers to purchase her a new laptop. But Mia is enraged. She says she doesn't want a new laptop, because all of her files are just gone, and she won't be able to fulfill all of the deadlines. Ethan writes her a check. Mia asks him if he is pleased with what he did, and the fact that he can see again, and Ethan admits that he enjoys seeing her suffer like this, since reality always beats the imagination. He's having a great time, since it's his coping method. Mia's eyes well up with tears as she tells Ethan that she is glad they met, because she can now be at peace with herself. Her worst mistake all these years was letting him leave. She says this and then walks away. This was like honey to Ethan's ears, but something also stung him deeply. He tries to tell himself to relax, but he can't, since he's thinking about what Mia just said. Ethan is at home with a friend. He is currently watching a film directed by Mia. Ethan is surprised to discover that the lines used in the film are the same lines he once said to propose to Mia. Ethan's interest is piqued, so he goes to the nearest store and purchases all of Mia's DVDs. He begins to observe them, and before he knows it, he is recalling his happy years with Mia. Suppressed memories begin to emerge, making him nostalgic, and that nostalgia gradually transforms into something more, of which he is unaware. He texts Mia to find out where she is. Mia, on the other hand, is concerned by it all. She abandons him and does not respond to his message. Her mother recognizes this and suggests that they make amends, but Mia refuses, stating that all he needs is closure. They are talking when they hear a knock on the door. Mia checks the door and sees that it's Ethan. Ethan and Mia sit silently inside, with Ethan constantly looking at Mia, amazed by her beauty, and complimenting her that she is beautiful without her glasses. On the other hand, when Ethan starts changing his wet shirt, Mia comments that he has gotten thinner. Curiously, and much to their surprise, they are having a terrific time together, but they aren't sure if it's due to nostalgia or how they feel. Ethan invites her to his house for hot coffee. After, Mia asks Ethan if she can borrow some money to order the cab, but Ethan doesn't want her to leave yet. Ethan jokes that he wants her to kiss him, but she informs him that he is still the same idiot he was before. The ice slowly melts around them, and Ethan leans in for a kiss. Mia pushes him, and Ethan apologizes, but the pent-up feelings they have for each other soon break the dam, and Mia kisses him back. They enter Ethan's room, where Mia notices all of the movie discs Ethan purchased, which makes her happy. They are in love with each other. Everything seems to have faded away. All the rage, disappointment, and broken hearts, and just this moment remains for them. Mia awakens to the sound of Ethan conversing with his mother. He promises her that he will leave the Philippines in 1 month, and that nothing will change his mind. This both disappoints and enrages Mia. When Ethan comes to this room, she asks him what he knows, and what last night meant. Goodbye sex, a one-night stand, or what? He tries to calm her down by reminding her that this isn't a one-night stand, but Mia doesn't want to hear anything further and storms out. Ethan is aware that he has her, and his eyes are filled with regret. Mia returns home in a sour mood, puts up an excuse about being sleepy, and goes to her room. Meanwhile, Ethan and John's pal are drinking. Ethan is upset because he injured her, and has finally admitted that he still loves her. John advises him to follow his heart, before telling him that a friend knows a great neurologist, and that he can make an appointment for him, which Ethan accepts. Mia, on the other hand, has found her muse. She believes it is time to truly live by these words, because she has already admitted in her heart that she is still hopelessly in love with Ethan. When Ethan and John return to Ethan's house, they are surprised to discover Mia. Mia claims she came back here to return the jacket she borrowed earlier this morning. Mia decides to take care of Ethan, because he is so inebriated that he can't even stand on 2 feet. He's spent on the bed, just staring at Mia and enjoying her beauty. She takes off his clothes and scrubs him off with a damp towel. She says that the jacket was only an excuse, since she wanted to see him, because she doesn't want to look back on her life, especially the 8 years they were together. Ethan is taken aback by her character's growth, and wonders why she is taking such a risk, possibly because she loves him. Mia remains silent and shifts the subject. She inquires as to why he is so inebriated. Ethan responds that it's occurring because he has a problem named Mia. He doesn't want to hurt her at all, but he always does. Mia's ice ultimately breaches around her as she falls for Ethan once more. Mia is making dinner for them the next morning. Ethan is simply taking in the scenery. They begin eating and continue to spend the remainder of the day together. They appear so natural about it that it's almost as if they never broke up. They are simply enjoying this lovely moment together. Mia continues to write her script, while Ethan seeks her attention. They are joking about random things when Ethan receives a call from John concerning the neurosurgeon they discussed the other day. John agrees that Ethan should see him, because his diagnosis may have been incorrect. When Mia asks whom he's talking to, Ethan lies and says it's one of his pals bothering him. They intend to go on a date when Mia completes her work. But Ethan treats her like a child, refusing to let her go for her job. But Mia doesn't mind. In fact, she enjoys it as much as Ethan does. They go on a date, and everything appears to be just as it was in the past for them. Music begins, and everything around them ceases to exist, leaving only 2 souls who have found their lost love to enjoy each other in the song. Yet something is wrong. It's as if Ethan is concealing something from Mia. He is terrified of the unknown future, but conceals everything professionally so as not to hurt Mia. Mia is at work when her co-workers pressure her to tell them the truth about Ethan. And then Ethan arrives behind them, holding a dog which he gives to Mia. To taunt Ethan, Mia licks him on the cheek and calls the puppy Ed. She asks him why he needs to go to the hospital. Ethan pauses for a while before lying, stating he needs to see a buddy. The suspense is gradually growing. This will be a decisive moment in Ethan's life, and he appears to be unprepared for the response. We cut to Ethan, who is broken down, sobbing uncontrollably, and utterly crushed. Aldous comes up to Ethan and informs him that his best friend is going to pass away, and that there is nothing they can do about it. He attempts to calm him down, and they get a drink in the nearest pub. Aldous remains mute. He is at a loss for words. Ethan, on the other hand, does not pause for a single second. He claims that he will leave for Taiwan on Monday, as planned, and that everything in his life has been settled. The sale, his relationship with Mia, and even his life. Turns out the doctor gave him the same diagnosis, a brain tumor, but he jokes about it, because this tumor won't impair his way of life until the very end. He takes solace in the thought that, at the very least, he will pass painlessly. Yet his eyes don't deceive him. He does not want his life to come to an end, and Aldous listens to him without saying anything. The phone abruptly rings. Ethan glances at it and sees Mia. He appears to be more saddened by this than when he thought he was about to lose his life, so he doesn't answer the phone. In contrast to Ethan, everything appears to be going in the opposite direction for Mia. Her script has been approved. She discovered the love of her life again, but she has a gut feeling, a woman's sense, that something isn't right. She visits Aldous' job and inquires about Ethan. Aldous does not respond. He is unable to tell her the truth. Mia is moved by the pain in his eyes, and she refuses to let up until Aldous informs her where Ethan will be tomorrow. The scene shifts to the location where Ethan proposed to Mia, a location that was once filled with the happiest memories of their lives, but may now become something quite different. Ethan is caring for his grandma. He gives her a gift and tells her that this may be the final time they see each other. She is perplexed, but Ethan calms her down when Mia appears in front of him. Mia asks Ethan if there is anything she did wrong to make him furious. She simply wants to know what's going on inside Ethan's thoughts. His face is stricken with indescribable agony. He knows the truth will devastate Mia, so he musters all of his remaining power and lies to her. He claims to have a fiancée in Taiwan, and that he merely used her for sex and to pass the time. He expresses regret to Mia. She doesn't say anything. This falsehood has utterly broken her spirit. She simply exits the building. And Ethan looks at her with tears in his eyes, knowing that this may be the last time he sees her. Ethan is at a friend's birthday party, and it is also his last time in the Philippines, so he is saying his goodbyes. Suddenly, Mia's buddy enters and inquires as to why she has not been invited. Is it because of Ethan? He tries to defuse the situation by changing the subject, but it doesn't work. They claim that because Mia's life is once again falling apart, he decided to appear in it and turn it upside down once more. Ethan can't take any more insults, because no one knows what's going on, so he walks away. They don't halt and demand a response from Aldous. He can't take any more insults directed at his friend, and tells everyone the truth, leaving them stunned as he rushes toward Ethan. Monday is here, and Ethan is leaving. He gives his house to Sasha, demonstrating his generosity. Luli, Mia's buddy, appears and tells her the truth while she is locked up in her room. Mia doesn't waste any time and rushes to the airport. She rushes over to Ethan and glances at him. Mia wonders, her voice breaking, why he didn't tell her the truth. Ethan claims that even if he told the truth, nothing would change. Mia thinks he is mistaken. She is now eager to be with him, and even travel to Taiwan with him. But Ethan has already made the decision that he does not want to take his life on a random day with the person he loves the most, and hurt her in this way. Mia begs him to take her with him. She does not want to lose the love of her life, and live with the guilt for the rest of her life. She sobs, but Ethan's determination to travel to Taiwan alone, leaving the jewel of his life behind, does not change. When Ethan arrives in Taiwan, he immediately visits his mother. He informs her of the truth. She is unable to control her emotions and bursts into tears. He claims that he chose not to notify her about this, since he wanted to live freely. His mother inquires if he is available for supper, and he responds positively. The following day, Ethan arrives at the restaurant. He can't believe what he's seeing. Mia takes his mother's seat. She claims she called his mother, and they set up this encounter. They can't seem to find the right words to say to each other, so Mia is the one who decides to take the first step. She claims that in the past, if they had discussed every issue, no one would have needed to leave. Ethan claims that it is not that simple. He agrees that Mia is the girl he wants to spend his entire life with, but not in this way, for fear that he will pass at any moment. He claims that if he had been selfish previously, he would not have left her, but that he now loves her so much that he is willing to let her go. These words break Mia's heart. Ethan attempts to flee, but Mia stops him. He sits down again and listens to her, as if he expects to hear something that will break his determination. Mia takes up her engagement ring and declares that she will be with him no matter what, but Ethan argues that it would be unjust to her. Mia thinks there's something even worse, his belief that it's too late for their love to blossom. He acknowledges that the only thing he wants is to live a long life with Mia, to grow old together and have children, but he has already determined that he can't do anything about the world's unfairness. Mia is determined to stay with him, and proposes to him once more. Ethan finally succumbs to his emotions and takes the ring, joking that it won't fit his finger. Mia smiles and explains the ring is for her, not him. He stands up and kneels in front of her, asking again if this is what she truly desires. She agrees, and they kiss, refusing to give in to the cruelty of the world, where love has prevailed yet again. They travel the world together, spending every second of it together. Mia meets Ethan's parents, whom she had initially refused to meet. When Mia is asked if she believes in eternity, she says yes, it does exist. But if you ask her husband, he says no, but she knows deep down he doesn't, because they loved each other, and even after Ethan passed away, that feeling was eternal, and nothing, not even time, could have changed it.